Thank you once again, Ashley, Nell, Tipton, for being here with us here at PopCultX. Like I shared with you a little bit earlier, I'm a really big fan of yours from your time on Project Runway and your design work. One of the things that I wanted to kind of start off with you is what are some of the things that people are like maybe misinformed or have a misperception about you coming from Project Runway?
That I'm a crybaby, but I am a crybaby. Um, I think what people may have misinformed of like how sensitive, like I came off as a really sensitive person and always crying off of the show, and I think that was just a part of me at that time growing up, and I did a lot of growing after Project Runway, and um I've become this stronger person who doesn't really listen to everyone's opinion and doesn't really need their validation, and I still cry, but my crying is just the way that I show my emotion, or I'm in tune with what I feel. um I don't I try thinking of that
Yeah,
when you say
absolutely.
that question, and um I'm just me. And it surprises me how people perceive me, because I think coming off this show, people just thought I was so confident, and I wasn't confident. For so many years, I was actually really, really depressed, and I'm actually the most confident that I have ever been in my life, and that's now. So I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I can think of that people have a wrong perceive of me.
hmm I think it's a really interesting dynamic, I'm sure, for you, having been on a quote reality show and people thinking that they know you. So I always find it interesting of it must be surreal, like a dream. Like people must come up to you and think that they're your friend, or like maybe even have like anger or animosity towards you because maybe they didn't like how you were perceived on the show. And so I mean, I just think that it's such a unique, must be such a unique experience for someone to come off of a reality show and then kind of go back to the real world and have to function and work and have people that are strangers to you come up thinking that they know you.
Yeah, like that's something that I never fully thought about going on a reality show and what the aftermath would be. The only thing I could think of was not getting eliminated the first day. And so being there, being on this reality TV show from the start to the ending, and then coming home and trying to live my life the same way I was before, and realizing that that will never be there again, that my life has changed from this very moment because I made this one decision. And it's something that is going to take a process for me to understand, because nobody trains you, nobody tells you, nobody really knows what it's like, and nobody really talks about it. Nobody talks about being on reality TV and then coming off of it. It's something that not a lot of people get that opportunity to. And we don't talk about it because we're all under contract not to. So it's this
Oh,
it's this place where you can't help but feel alone and depressed, and the only people who you feel that you can connect with are the people who were either on the show with you or who share that experience of being on some type of reality TV. That I grew a lot of bond with um my drag queen girls from Drag Race. Like, they loved watching Project Runway, and they were huge fans of mine, and I'm a huge fan of RuPaul's Drag Race and them, all as individuals and as their characters, and to be able to talk to them and tell them what I experience and what they experience. What they experience is a whole nother level. Like, I think right when I was going on Project Runway, that's when social media and influencers and reality TV was all starting to combine, and how people were becoming famous off of online. And it was this huge transition where a lot of us didn't really understand it, and we were just entertainers, and we just so happened to be put in this lane.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that as a fan, as a consumer of pop culture and reality shows, I can see how toxic the fandom can be, and that's something that is so scary because I'm a fan of yours, like, and doing some research, I've kind of went into the social media and the internet and started looking at some interviews that you've done, and I saw that you did have some backlash from people, and it made me so sad because I thought, here, my perception of it is, you won this great reality show contest, you're young, you're got all of this attention, and I would figure you feel like you're on top of the world, but then I see that it's not like that. There's this really negative part of it that comes with it, and I don't know, it hurt my heart for you. I felt so bad that you had to go through that, but how did that change you? Like, how did that make you stronger? You said that you're now stronger than you've ever been. How did that experience change you for the better?
I think it made me realize that I didn't need a TV show. I didn't need people to validate that I am a great designer. It's like I need to believe in myself. And it's crazy that I got all these people to believe in how it's not even that I have to make them believe it. They just can see that I'm a talented designer, and I have this negative a mindset that I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And that's what came off on the show. And it's like, I didn't need to go on the show. I didn't need to do any of these things to prove to myself that I am good enough, that I should have just believed in myself. And so, going through this journey, I'm very, very grateful for it. And I did. I put myself through to finally figure out if I have what it takes. And it's like, well, Ashley, now you gotta take all the negativity, all the things that comes with it, and you gotta learn and you gotta grow from it, and you have to learn that people are always going to say negative things, and you do not have the choice, or it's not in your power to change their minds. You don't have to change their mind. People can have their opinions, but what matters is how you allow that to affect you. And I realized that no one has control over my feelings. I am the only person that has control over my feelings. So if anybody has anything negative to say about me, that is their opinion, and they're allowed to say it. And I just have to know that I am not anything. Like, I have to be confident in who I am and reassure myself, and it's this full-time job that I'm doing, because it's like I have to reprogram my mind to think a different way than I've been raised to think. Um and there's this thing that I still continue to do, and I apologize for every little thing I do, and it's like, "You need to stop being apologetic, Ashley." Like, that makes you look even less confidence. Um, like, even if I bumped into some not even bump into somebody, even if I put my cell phone down and I accidentally, like, did something, like, I say sorry, or, like, there doesn't need to be a sorry with it. It's just I'm so used to trying to move out of people's way and not be in the way that I shouldn't think that way anymore, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
absolutely. No, it totally does. I think that I feel very much the same way in the a lot of times in my life, I've been so desperate to get that acknowledgement from people, especially from an artistic and a creative perspective, because you do put so much of your heart in your art, right? You're expressing your insides and your feelings and your creativity. So you want people to say, "Oh, that's beautiful," but it really doesn't change. Like if they don't like it or they do, your work still exists, and you still have the right as an artist to be able to express yourself. And if they don't like it, then that's fine. But it's so hard, I think, for people to get to that spot to say, people are allowed to have their opinions. Some people may like it, some people may not, but that person's opinion is really none of your business. Like, so I'm so glad that you have been able to get to that spot. Like, I'm really happy for you. I know that since winning Project Running, you've had a lot of projects. You're working for J.C. Penney on a line there, and a lot of consulting for plus line lines, and also some jewelry that I see you have selling right now on your site,
Yeah.
which is really really cool. A lot of statement pieces. I think they're really beautiful. But I was a little shocked to go onto your YouTube channel and see one of the first videos that came up and say, why did I quit fashion, or why am I no longer doing that? And can you speak to that a little bit more? Like, that's a pretty provocative statement. So is Ashley no longer doing fashion?
Um, so the me coming out with this video saying that I'm no longer doing fashion design was a way of me telling people, "Hey, I'm tired. There's a pandemic happening right now, and I don't feel like there's a need for me as a clothing designer to be happening right now. So I'm going to quit designing right now and pivot into something that is going to be useful for people, and something to save lives. Like, I have always been a person to help other people, and I can't ask people to buy my designs when it's not a necessity. A necessity is trying to stay alive and deal with this whole COVID thing happening. And I just felt like I had to reevaluate my passion and what this world was about to go through, because I don't think any of us knew what was going to happen, but I just knew that we were going to go through something that, um it's almost like we had to put our helmets on and like get ready for this, because I already felt like I was sinking in my business. I already felt like I was put like having to think of the next thing I was going to do in the fashion world. And I when I say I felt exhausted, I felt like fast fashion is happening so quickly that it's tearing us independent designers apart. It's not allowing people to appreciate things made in the US, things that are made by independent designers, not things that are mass produced in thousands and hundreds of thousands of units and that can be found in like multiple stores or online. I didn't want to do that anymore. Like, I wanted to help this environment, like have sustainable fashion. There was all these things I wanted to do, but I just feel like we were placed in fashion. I just felt like we were in a place in fashion where people were not appreciating the art. They were just appreciating the trends and how quickly they could get their hands on something. And I was tired of that. And I think, everything happened in its right timing, or maybe things in my life was happening in the right timing and I just wasn't understanding it. And then the pandemic happened and I saw that there was a need for face mask, and I said, like, I have all the knowledge to be able to build a production team, to be able to get all these units of mask out to people who need it. And overnight we switched our business, and I was making masks and people were so unhappy, so upset that I was making money off of a pandemic. And me creating this video was more of like, for me, is like, I'm tired of you constantly asking me, why aren't you designing? What are you doing? Why aren't you doing this? When I'm a human, I have the choices to do what I want, not to do things what people think I should be doing. I love being creative, but I'm so tired of creating for this fashion world that is in a different place right now. Like, I wanna help the world, like, that's
Mhm.
something that I've always been passionate about, is helping people, and, um, and I'm so glad that I did what I did, and making face masks allowed me to free up my mind and enjoy creating something that was so different, and then be able to come back to this fashion industry and have a different mindset.
That's great that you were able to do sort of like that reset. One of the things you mentioned is how you've always wanted to give back to other people, and how you that's really speaks to like the core of who you are. And I think that's a great time for us to kind of segue into another project that you have, which is your YouTube series. And if I could have you speak to that, because I think it's really great. I've been able to log in and see a lot of the episodes that you've been doing with your co-host and manager, and it really speaks to me. Like I'm like, okay, I need to subscribe to this because this is so beneficial, and I think it would help so many people to be able to learn how to love themselves and how to move on from trauma and events that may have occurred in their life that really kind of set them on a certain path and kind of reprogram the computer in their brain. So tell us about that project. What
Yeah.
is it about, and why are you so passionate about it?
So, my Love You show on YouTube is something that me and my manager, Andrew, who is my CFO of my business, my second father, my mentor, my therapist, everything, love him to pieces. Um, Ever since Andrew has been working with me in my business, he's seen the highs and lows that I've gone through, and has seen me suffer so much that he's reached out his hand and was like, "Let me help you. Let's figure this out." And so he's helped me from like changing the way that I think about myself and my self-esteem and my weight and my business and all these things, and we've always wanted to take this material that he's taught me and share it with the world, share it with this plus size community, any community, because the more and more that I'm here and I give myself to the world, I see all types of people that it tracks. So I've always wanted to create material that is for everyone. And I just wanted a place where people can take my life experiences and see how I've done things and see the rawness of how difficult it is, but how freeing it is once you do it. And we've wanted to do a camp. We've done workshops before in person, but ever since the pandemic happened, and doing face masks, that allowed us to make money to be able to support a YouTube channel. And we've had this YouTube channel for about a year now, and it's not making us any money. That was never the point, to make money. It was always the point to be able to spread this material. And we wanted to make sure that we had the money to support a videographer to take our information that we have and put it on YouTube, because we don't know how to do any of that stuff. Like, I truly believe in hiring people to help you um, get to where you need to get the job done. Like, I can't learn how to do videography. I'm a fashion designer, so I'm gonna find the right people on my team to make this happen. And I'm so happy that we've had this show for a year, because we really never scripted it how we wanted it. We just kind of had a mission of where we wanted how we wanted to tell people all this information. And then it just so happened that life happens and you go through a breakup and you have these life experiences and these goals. And I'm just very thankful that Andrew allowed me to put this online and really show people the rawness of how we work these issues out. And how I can just share with you guys and not be ashamed of it, and like just be completely genuine and raw with everyone.
Nice. What one thing that I think that we share in common is we both have lost a lot of weight recently. I've lost about 80 pounds, and you've spoken about your weight loss journey. Something that I didn't really expect was how people treat you differently when you have a big weight loss. Not only just from a society's point of view, where now you're conforming to what they want you to look like, but also people within the body acceptance community, where they maybe there's a perception of, because you have lost weight, that you're not fully engaged in body acceptance, and it's a really weird dynamic. And I think for me it was definitely health related. I had a bit of a health scare, and so I figured, okay, this is my wake up call. Like, I'm either going to get healthy, or I'm going to be dealing with these problems for the rest of my life. And have you faced that? Have you
Oh my
you're such a positive
God.
person and have been so supportive of the body acceptance movement, but now that people see that you've lost weight, have you had sort of a little bit of a backlash with that, like that you're doing a 180?
Oh yeah, I've had 100% backlash. Um, I kept it a secret that I was having weight loss surgery for maybe 2 months after I had surgery. And when I announced that I had surgery, I had announced it to People's Magazine. I think I was so high off of pain medication from my surgery that I was like, this is the way I got to do it. And so I gave People Magazine the exclusive just because I thought it would be some type of powerful statement. I don't know what I was thinking. And it just became a huge backlash. And that's not what I wanted. I wanted people to understand that I was doing this because, yes, I had a health scare and I weighed 404 pounds, and I was tired of living this unhealthy lifestyle, um, and being on cloud nine in my career, but not being able to enjoy it because I was in so much pain. I was so insecure. um I was depressed. I would wake like traveling and being a big person is so hard. It's so hard. And I was spending
Yeah.
weeks at a time away from home and traveling and like not feeling confident in myself, that it was just like an exhausting thing going back and forth, that I was like, enough is enough.
You talking about your weight loss and your decision to really to be healthy, and with now your new project that you're working on, your show with well-being. I just kind of wanted to talk quickly about how do you practice self-care. What are some of the things that you do that really help you be healthy, physically and mentally? What are some maybe some tips that you can share with our listeners? And certainly I know I kind of know the answer because I went to your website, but um, who are people that watch your show? What can they do to kind of maybe do a quick shot of self-care for themselves?
It's finding that thing that, I mean, for me, it's staying active. That is the most important thing for me because I know how much I invested into doing this and getting where I'm at right now. So I think is obviously listening to my body is one. Um Finding something that gets me moving. Either it's finding a great training trainer and people to work out with, or it's finding a hobby to do, either hiking or like I just got into roller skating. So I'm trying to find new
Nice.
things that gets my heart rate going, because I know that's good for me, but I also enjoy it, and I enjoy meeting the new people, and I feel like the more and more, the more and more I start to lose weight, but the more and more that I start to see the results, I feel so much confident in myself because I'm starting to see what dedication and hard work looks like, and all the time that I've invested into me is showing is paying off. Um because I am getting more energy, I'm becoming more active. I like the way that I look. Like, there's all these things that bring so much more happiness to me, so that I can be there for my dogs, I can be there for my business, I um be there for my friends and family, because I always have to make sure Ashley is good. And and it's a work in progress because sometimes Ashley's running on go go go, and then she hits a rock, and then she wonders why she's stressed or overwhelmed. So I'm always trying to make sure Ashley's good.
Excellent. So, for those of our listeners that are interested in watching your show and learning more about what you're up to, where can they go? Well, your YouTube channel is one, obviously, and
Yes.
your website as well.
My website, and I've also joined OnlyFans for more of a creative one-on-one side. It's not sexual, not like what everybody thinks that OnlyFans is, but I joined OnlyFans to be able to show more of day to day what Ashley's doing, and how to be creative, or how to be able to have these conversations about self-love, self-acceptance. um so I just wanted to be able to have a safe zone for me and my followers, which it's completely free to join my OnlyFans. Um, but if there was that one-on-one time that you wanted to be able to have with me to ask me about anything, this is like the platform that we could use. Um, you can follow me on my Instagram, my YouTube, or Twitter. Um, but yeah, that's where you can find me.
Excellent. Being that I have been now watching your YouTube series, I saw a recent post that says that you recently got some great news, and so I'm encouraging people to tune into your next episode. You're going to have a really big announcement, right?
I hope so. I hope that I can announce it, at least the job position that I just got, because it's like been a dream since I was in high school, and it goes hand in hand with fashion design. So, um yeah, I'm really really excited. When is this going to be aired? Cuz maybe we
Excellent. Well, I'm excited for you. I can't wait to hear the big decision, the big news. I'll be tuning into your YouTube channel. Hopefully, all of the Pop Cult X listeners will now go and listen to your YouTube series and go to your
Yes.
OnlyFans to catch up on everything that you're doing. And once again, thank you so much. I'm so happy that I finally got to meet and talk to you.
Me
And good luck to all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I feel so honored to be on your podcast. And I hope we bump into each other again, or you see me and we get to talk some more.